This is really a session for us to get you thinking about careers, researching, knowing how to research them, and knowing what to think about as well when uh, thinking about how to be best prepared for the research side of things and how to integrate your career research later on into the university research. So there's no point in kind of going forward into university research and only thinking only about universities when we're in a UK climate. The UK is full of courses which kind of you have to choose first before then you go into careers. So it's important to be as informed as possible about the final career destination or possibility of a career destination before making the choice of a course. Okay, so it's about understanding how to keep options open later on, but also being aware of what certain careers there are out there and therefore what university pathways they are to get there. So just in general, it's just really important to set the scene. We've had a grade 9 presentation already where we're talking about self-reflection and kind of reflecting upon strengths, talking about activities and how important trying to share and explore a range of interests that you might have outside of the classroom is really important as you move forward in applications to universities, because universities really look at how you take to the extracurricular activities that are afforded to you, right? So that's what we have had. Now this is the next step to start thinking how to prepare and make those activities, get them down on paper, reflect upon them, and then start thinking about career pathways from there. So the message is it's good to start and be prepared and start early. All right. So here on the left, we've got a resume or a CV. It's important to start thinking about a CV or a resume because this is an ongoing process that you can start in grade 9 moving forwards. So it's an ongoing task that you're constantly adding to. You're going to be doing more and more tasks. You're going to be developing more and more skills as you go forwards as well. So as you go through the grades, you're going to be doing so many more things that you can be adding to it. Why not just be starting it now and then add to it later? Just a note that applications will only happen in grade 12. So often, sometimes there are some very keen students in grades 10 and 11 that say, can I now apply now to these schools? I know these are the schools that I want to apply to. It's important to actually start some research about universities, which all comes after thinking about careers. So applications happen in grade 12, not sooner. It's the research of universities that happen in grade 11. We have lots of universities from across the world coming into ACS Cobham to speak to students. It's your chance to ask these universities questions about their specific programs that they have, some of the benefits of going to certain different universities and their particular institutions. So it's really important that you are aware that there are those university visits and they happen very regularly. Do you know where you find out where the university visits are or when they're happening? Do you know where you'd find that information? So we have updates in the Schoology page in the college counselling. There's a newsletter we call it to the students and to the parents. Okay, so two different ones. They first go out to parents first and then to students. We've actually got an Instagram account where we share a document on there of the up and coming events. Okay, that's like a changing document in the link tree in there. But then we've also got kind of like images in Instagram as well to kind of share with you and to show when each event is happening as well. Okay, so we've got the updates at the beginning of the front page in Schoology. We've got Instagram and the newsletters. Also somewhere a little bit more obvious as you're walking around the stairs on the walls. We've got display boards up as well. And as you come into college counselling offices as well, we stick the events that we're having and the university visits all around the doors and the walls. So it's important to be aware that the more you know about yourself and involve yourself in extracurricular activities, the better position you will be in. So what does that mean? We talked about finding interests being really, really important in grade 9 and 10 and 11. 9 is the time to have a go at things, to work out what your interests are. 10 is a chance to then start to develop that a little bit more. And 11 is a good chance to have a leadership in one of those areas of interests. So it's about learning who you are now and then engaging in it in a more deeper level as you go through the school grades. So that's the first thing, making you in a better position. But also being aware what's coming in front of you, knowing that applications are happening in grade 12, knowing that university visits are out there for grades 10 and 11 puts you in a better position as well. Learning more about those different universities in grade 10 by asking questions when the universities come in. That's really key, because then you get a general understanding and layout of the land of all of the different kind of types of universities that there are out there for you. There's no such thing as too much information. We've just got a few upcoming events that we want to share with you as well. On Thursday, the 30th of March, we have a behind the curtain holistic US universities admissions between 5 and 6 in here. So that basically means we've got some top universities from the US coming in to explain what this term called holistic admissions is. That basically means, do we know what holistic means? No? Okay. So in the UK, things are pretty straightforward when you apply to a university. They will list on a course page, yes, a course, not a university page. Each course will have specific entry requirements. It's very, very objective in the minimum type of grades they're looking for their courses in students. Holistic basically means they're looking at the whole student, the whole package. You have to demonstrate a story. You have to show you are more than just the numbers on the piece of paper. So there's a really good way to do that, and that is get involved in the life of the school. And that's why we have so many service clubs, so many interest clubs, so much sports available, and there's and loads of opportunities to demonstrate your creativity as well. That's why becoming a leader in one of these activities is a good goal to move towards, because it tells them a story of how you're developing your skills, your interests, and you can show a particular amount of like motivation, determination, and stick-to-itiveness. Okay, if that is a word, sticking to a particular activity that you're really interested in, because you are more than just the grades. They are so competitive, some of these institutions, that having a specific grade isn't enough to demonstrate that you will be a good match or a fit within their university. They're looking to shape classes, to see how certain types of people and characters within a class and interests will help to mold working with other people that are also getting very good grades as well. So they want to create a climate in which there is a lot of sharing and interesting discussions happening. Mr. Sabanda, you went to a very highly selective university in the US. Would you say that was a good synopsis, or is there anything else that you'd like to add to holistic admissions as an idea?
Yeah, actually, there's two things that I'll add to that. Like the first one is, for me, my grades were great, but I was not best student in the country or something like that. But I still got into Harvard mostly because of my extracurricular activities. I was the national champion in debate. I was the three-time provincial champion in chess. I was participating in like first aid club, Boy Scouts, and all these other different interests, which were able to demonstrate my interest outside of the classes that I was doing for my A level. And that's actually another really important thing. I know sometimes we hear that the UK doesn't really care about extracurricular activities. So even if you don't do any extracurricular activities and you have good grades, you'll be fine. But the other thing you have to notice is that extracurricular activities are not just about getting you into university. They are also an opportunity to explore different aspects of school life and also find and explore your other interests, which might contribute, whether it becomes your hobbies that you're going to pursue in life, whether that's other aspects or different careers that you might want to explore. I was doing mathematics, biology, physics, and chemistry in high school, but I didn't, that was not always the only thing that I wanted to do. It was just that those were the subjects that were sort of expected for a high achieving student in school. But I was really interested in the social sciences, so I was part of the entrepreneurship club. I was part of the entertainment committee because I was interested in movies and theater. So that allowed me to explore those other aspects of my life that I could not explore in an academic sense. So that is always the other aspect of extracurricular activities, to allow you to explore different interests that you might not be able to explore academically.
In the classroom, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's also the idea of the skills that you're developing as well. So in the UK application, for example, if you're doing extracurricular activities, then there is a range of different skills, the soft skills or transferable skills that then you are now demonstrating that you're able to bring to the community of the university as well. Okay, and so that's what they're looking for there as well. And there's a section in your personal statement in the UK personal statement where you get a chance to kind of like talk about what, for example, the Service Club of Liberty for North Korea has enabled you to do in terms of exploring and developing transferable skills, for example. Okay, as well as the whole idea with holistic admissions with the US and to a certain extent Canada also helps to demonstrate what type of a person you are as well. You know, are you the type of person that has a caring nature? Do you care about people as well? Gives you the opportunity to demonstrate that as well beyond just the numbers and the grades and show what causes are really important to you. So it's important across the board, really. So anyway, I digress. The point is we got holistic, a dive into what that looks like from the admissions side of things at these highly selected US universities. So that's on the 30th of March. On the 20th of April, we have a UCAS, which is UK application platform. We have a UK university exhibition for grade 10s and 11s where we move. So this session is also for 10s and 11s as well as 9s. But we go to a massive exhibition hall where we have stands and booths and tables full of lots of different UK universities explaining everything that they have to offer. So it's a great time to go in there, ask questions, be as specific as you can to learn more about what's out there again. And there are, in Schoology, there are some pages, and you'd have seen a link as well in the students and the parents newsletter where we give advice on how to get the best out of fairs. So, you know, engage with that. That's a presentation there where you can read through and come up with some ideas, useful tips for when you're in one of those exhibitions. And the big event that I've been working on as well is the 25th of April, International Universities Fair, based here in ACS Cobham. Straight after school on the Tuesday, the 25th, we have, actually it's now 80 plus universities from around the world, the US, Canada, France, Spain, Germany, Sweden, Italy, UK, US, Canada. We got all of these different, Australia, all of these different places around the world, universities coming in to basically do the same as what we were just saying about the UCAS Fair. We will also be inviting other international schools to come into our grounds to benefit as well from all the contacts that we have with university representatives. So that's in the Sports Centre. It's going to be a really big event, and that's for free. So it's always good at this stage, give a little reminder of the resources that we have for you guys to set you off on knowing what you could be doing and to move yourself forward in getting prepared. So we have the Schoology pages. If you go into groups and then college counselling, then you will find we have resources. So we go to Schoology, into groups, college counselling, then go into the resources tab. Where you find grade level resources, you'll then see that each different grade level have their own specific bits of information available to you to make a start on kind of reading through. And so the first thing you'll see in every one of those, and we've also got resources for parents and families at the bottom as well. So like podcasts, reading lists to support you in supporting your children and young people. So the first thing you'll see in any Schoology page is a to-do list. So we've got a grade 9 college counselling to-do list. The to-do list is the year's bunch of to-dos to do, okay? So here, work hard, get good grades, set academic goals, strive to achieve them. You can see here that these are all things very specific, and this is the exact same to-do list, but just in colour form on the slides. All of these points here are there to help you move forward and get as prepared as possible for your self-reflection, research, and preparation. It's a reflective process. We've actually touched on quite a bit of this already, right? Activities are important. They give a picture of you as a whole, which is what universities are looking for. That means it's very important to think about pursuing activities of interest, trying different things out. This is the time to do it, as I've said. And then start making a list of those things, those activities, anything outside the classroom you're doing. It could be actually be not within the gates of the school. It could be piano lessons at home. It could be some kind of community volunteering project that you're doing outside of the school. Absolutely anything that is not in a classroom can go on an extracurricular activities list. As I say, it's important to reflect. It's not just a case of, here's a big long list of all the things I've done. That means nothing to admissions, because if it's just a list, it shows that you're doing it in order to tick the boxes to try to make yourself competitive. What really matters is the reflection that you have. What matters is what does it mean to me? Why are we doing it? What skills are you learning from these activities? There are two types of skills that I've highlighted here. Transferable skills. What skills that you do, for example, in Cobham Food Bank Service Club, that then, such as, teamwork or leadership or public speaking, for example, that then you, or even fundraising, that then you can then take on into another activity so you can transfer that skill around in a whole range of different activities. Transferable skills are great to university communities because you can try new things when you're at university, but still continue to develop some skills that you've already learned and then transferred to a new activity. And then we've also got technical skills. For example, you might be at home playing on the piano, learning how to play the piano. There are specific skills involved in that which don't necessarily transfer to when you're publicly speaking, but they could transfer to different instruments, for example. That's the difference between technical, which are very specific to a task, or transferable.
Extracurricular activities do not necessarily have to be clubs or something majestic. It could be something as simple as picking up your little sister from school every afternoon, because it does show that you are responsible and reliable enough for your parents to give you that role, and you are somebody who's obviously going to be on time, and it's going to be also
dependable. So you're demonstrating attributes, right?
And you actually like a caring person, because you're doing that on behalf of your little sibling, on behalf of your parents. So it can be anything that you are dedicating your time to that shows the kind of person that you are beyond grades and what your teacher recommendations say about you.
Exactly.
So it is important to, when you think about extracurricular activities, think about something meaningful that you do, not necessarily quantity. It should be about the quality of your involvement in that extracurricular activity. Even if you are within a club, find a role that is specific to who you are as a person, something that you can do and actually make a difference. Or even it could be just be one event or one particular aspect of the club that you really get involved in, that you can quantify and say, I did A, B, C, D. This is what I did. This is why I did it. And this was the effect or the change that I brought by what I did, right?
Yeah. Quality
is always going to be more important than the number of things that you do.
So also that brings us on to the idea of impacts, because you're saying, what is the effect of it, right? Yeah. And that's what we have down here. So when you're helping to look after younger siblings, for example, you're going to have challenges, right? And that's going to have a positive impact on A, the family unit, but B, on yourself as well, right? Your own attributes that you're developing. But also, if you're in, for example, Girl Up, you could be educating the school community as well. And in that way, on sort of issues related to being female in the modern 21st century. That's another thing that could be impactful as well. So whatever it is, it means that whatever activity you're doing, you need to be reflective, thinking about, have you had an impact on others? Have you had an impact on the community? Have you had an impact on your own perception of the world? Do you see the world in a different way? Also, have you overcome any challenges? Develop some skills. This is what we're looking at when we talk about activities. It's quite an involved thing, okay? So, because it's such an important thing, inside what we call Morrisby, the platform that you have, there is a task for you to do now. You've heard some talking from us. Now we're going to give you 5 minutes just to make a start. What we do want you to know is that there is this activities record form inside Morrisby. So you go to morrisby.com, log in, go to the home page, and then below About Me and My Choices, under Activities, you'll see a bunch of different forms. You're selecting the activities record form, and it'll look like this on the right-hand side of the screen. It just basically gives you the chance to start making a list of some of the things that you're doing in terms of hobbies or interests, ACS clubs or societies, any sport, any non-ACS activities you're doing, any awards or records of achievement, just to make a start on considering that. But do we all understand what we're looking at now as a task? Yeah? Okay. So let's get to that, and I'll give it a few minutes. So just so you're aware, this is something that's an ongoing task. If you've ever got some downtime in an advisory session, this is a great task to keep on moving forward with. Now I'm going to switch into the idea of careers now, okay? So what do you think is important when people look at doing a career? What factors affect them in terms of careers? Why do they choose the careers that they do? Why do people do a career? Why am I standing here talking to you? I could be on the beach somewhere, couldn't I? That would be amazing. But instead, I'm here doing a career. What do you think motivates me to be here? Okay, that's one thing, to get money. Yeah, money. There are other ways to make money. Or I could grow plants and sell them. What other things beyond money? If I wanted to make more money than being in education, I could do something like being an engineer, for example. Interest, yeah. I'm actually really interested myself in like the career paths and the opportunities that young people have. That might have something to do with the fact that when I was younger, I didn't have someone here explaining things the way you do now. So it's things like interest. What else? Did you see both myself and Mr. Sabanda talking earlier on? And did you see just how like Mr. Wickham came down to do something to help? What do you think that could be in connection with? Being part of a team? Camaraderie? What do you think these icons mean then? Okay, so we got, that one's pretty obvious, bottom left, isn't it? Cash, money, okay? What do you think this one is in the bottom right? Security. I could be a truck driver, then lose my truck driver's license. Or I could be growing plants, but there could be a bad winter, just to keep on with those two analogies. So there's a certain element of security involved. Look at those guys high-fiving. What are they doing? Teamwork. Yeah, they're doing lots of teamwork. They're being good comrades to each other. Do you think this one is on the top left? Making a difference. Okay, it was a tough icon. Don't worry, I even forgot myself until I clicked it, so you did good. Okay, so we got making a difference, camaraderie, security, money. These aren't the only factors, though. These are just some ideas. Now, in Morrisby, there's something called priorities. So when you go to the home page, when you're in the home page, you can then select About Me, and what you'll find is there is a section here called Priorities. Okay, so you select About Me, select Priorities, and then start a questionnaire. There are a whole range of different things, different factors that involve and motivate people in a career. Select either retake questionnaire or next, and then take the questionnaire. They'll ask you a series of questions to help you self-reflect upon what you think that your priorities are from being involved in a particular career. You can see what my priorities were when I did the quiz. When you're younger, you've got different priorities. And when you're choosing a career, the priorities that you have in grade 9, 10, 11, 12, and even at university may be very different to when you're a 40-something-year-old man. It's very important to also be aware of that when you look ahead and make life choices, that career pathway. Would you end up being someone like me that values security over travel? I would never have imagined that I value security in a job over being able to travel the world and see the world when I was 20 years old. Oh, who would have thought that? But now, yes, because, you know, life changes, right? I have children. It's more important then. Think about not only what your priorities are now, but also think about how can they shift in the future. Yeah, what's your top priority? Security. Wow. Okay. Wow. I must have influenced you. What's your next priority down? respect. Okay, I don't care if people look at me and go, wow, what's your job? Oh, wow, that's a respectful job. I don't really care that much about it, because what matters more really is kind of like how I'm helping other people, really. That, because I'm quite secure in myself, right? So that's what matters to me, as long as I respect myself, right? But then what have you got next? Rewards, yeah, okay. Okay, good. Mobility. So yeah, interesting, right? That means the ability to go to different places and to continue to work. So there's a range of different priorities that people have. And there's a whole range of different careers out there for you to choose from, okay? Each different career will have its own different benefits that tie into what your priorities might be. Each one will help people meet their different priorities. They all have their different benefit. That's an important fact to realize. So when you go about reading about these different careers, ask yourself, how are these fulfilling my priorities as you're going? That's the key kind of message I'm going to instill in you. But then let's look at the different pathways section. What does that mean, do you think? We've got lots of different roads on the right with different people in different places, but they're not all straight roads, are they? What do you think I'm trying to represent here with the different pathways on the right-hand side? All of these different people are in different careers, but for a while, let's look at these two, the male and the female, and kind of like middle on the red line. They all started on the same road, and then they diverged into different areas. There are different pathways and there are different opportunities at different stages within a career. It doesn't have to stick to the one path. There are different ways to get to different careers. We all, as college counsellors here, we all have the same kind of job right now, but we all got here in very different ways. So there are different pathways to get to the same place. Or if you start on a pathway, there are different options to go off to it in different areas within your career as well. So look at it from those 2 points of view. There are academic routes, there are vocational routes, there are work-based training as well. In the future, you'll get the chance to add qualifications that you plan to get. I just want to signpost this to you now, just to show you that that will then help you to then change some of the career options that Morrisby suggests to you based on all of the questions you're answering as you go through the Morrisby platform. Okay, so what Morrisby does as a platform is it asks you your interests, it tests you in your abilities of things, it works out what things are interesting to you, it works out what priorities there are that you have, all in order to then start the process of you having a bunch of different careers put out in front of you that you can now start to read about. It doesn't mean these are the careers that you need to do. It's what we call a dynamic list. That means it's a list that can change. It's a starting point for you to research and find out a range of different things that are out there. In a bit, we're going to start to read about one or two of the careers. So this is what will happen. That you'll be able to find in the careers section. If I was to select on one of those careers, so remember, we've got a list on the right-hand side. If you were to click on one of those careers, you may see a whole bunch of information about that particular career. So it will let you know a little bit about the overview of what the career is involving, what it takes to become, what skills are required to be in that career. Do you see how activities tie in with careers as well now? It's getting you to think about what skills that you think that you are good at or can develop as you go about activities and academics. It tells you what your day-to-day life can be like in that particular job, as well as some media, some videos to watch to hear other people and having interviews on what it's like for them in that field. And then further down, it will show you pathways, routes into those particular careers. So on the bottom right-hand side, you can see that at high school level, these are the things or routes that you can have to go into becoming a digital marketer, which is our example here. And then, so that's the high school diploma route or the IB routes. And then what kind of degrees you're required to do as well to move into eventually either work-based training or your first graduate position as well. So I just want you to be aware that there is this information on every single career in Morrisby there, and it's up to you to be engaging in this And then once you engage and learn learn about a range of different careers, on the right-hand side, this is a list of the careers that Morrisby would have suggested to you. You now have the option of changing that list. Remember I said it's a dynamic list? That means you can change it. Once you do some reading, once you're informed, you can start selecting ones that are your favorites, ones that you would like to continue to think about. Ones that are definitely not you in a million years. Like, for example, I probably would never be a surgeon, simply because, well, for me to train to become a surgeon, it takes quite a lot of time, and I'm like mid-40s. So I'll be a 60-something-year-old before I'm a surgeon. So for me, I'll just delete that, okay? Things that you may widely not be interested in. If you're really not interested in nutrition, you can delete it, okay? So the idea is you're adding favorites, you're deleting some of the careers that you've read about, and you can also add more careers. Search in, so you can either just go straight into find a career if you've got one in mind, just type it in and see if you can find it, select it, and then make a favorite if it's something that's interesting to you. Or you can check the career families. You might know that you're interested in computing and technology and the digital world, and then see what career options there are for you there. Okay? And then from there, you might go, oh, I never knew that was a job. And then it might give you some inspiration. So the idea that I want to show you is that the lists of careers that you get is changeable. You need to engage in it. Okay? You can even change that list by focusing on your aptitudes, and it will change your list, or focusing on what you're interested in only, according to how you answered the questions at the beginning, or your special interests, and it changes the list. Okay? Just want you to have a really quick look to see if you can find those careers and read about one career. So I'll give you 3 minutes, and then we'll move you on to the finale. So I'll just bring you back now. I've given you the chance to dream big about what's out there. Now I'm going to bring you back down to reality. Okay, here's a game related to how much do you have to learn in order to live the life that I currently live. We've got something called a reality check game. So what I want you to do is have a means of just writing some numbers down on a piece of paper with a pencil. So the explanation's in the top right. For each box that you see here, choose one or more lifestyle expense to have when you have your first job after high school or university. So what things do you want in each section? If the box says choose one, you can only pick one. For boxes where you can choose more than one, you can have as many as you think you need or as many as you think you want. And then you add up your total points. So you start in the top left in personal, okay? So you may choose more than one in the personal section. Do you want toiletries? Do you want a gym or a sports recreation? Do you want hair and skin services or extras like makeup or cologne? Or luxuries like designer brands? Whatever ones in that personal you want, you put the numbers in. So if you want toiletries and luxuries, you choose basics, which is 1, plus you put in luxuries, which is 4, and then you put that total. And then you move on to the next box, entertainment. If you like to stay at home, then choose 1. If you like to go on long vacations at the bottom of that box, and premium adventures that may require hotel and travel expenses, select 3. You may choose more than 1 for that category. So you go through each box, write down all the things that you want in your life straight after you have finished university, and let's see what your total points are at the end. There is a reason to it. So now here are the results. Then the total you have will correspond to a number at the top. So you can see if you have less than 29 total points, you would be deemed to need to earn somewhere between 30 to 40,000 pounds per year. Okay. If you were a big spender, like to go on holiday all the time, wanted really expensive cologne, and all the other lovely things, you'd probably be near to 90 or more, and therefore need to earn more than 101,000 US dollars per year. Okay, it's just a general idea. Okay, but then from that, then we can see this is based in Texas in the US. So this gives you a general idea of some of the jobs that are available in Texas, with a general idea of the salaries related to those jobs. Look in the columns for basically your total points and above, and see what is feasible. So the idea is, you can see on the right hand side, put your total points in, put in your salary range, type it in, and then write down some possible occupations for your chosen lifestyle. Now, either something has to change. You either get a more challenging or more financially rewarding job, or you learn to cut back on expenses. That's something that I do. Yeah. So then what you can do with that list now is, for homework, take a photo of this, select one of those occupations for your research, and answer some of these questions. What will you do in this occupation? So therefore engage in Morrisby to find out. Or you could also engage in this link at the top here, www.worksolutions.com. There is no R in there on purpose, /for individuals, /career exploration. That's what this worksheet is. That's what this worksheet is connected with, the jobs that are there. Okay. And then it gives you a chance then to explore duties, day-to-day activities of one of the chosen occupations you had, or the percentage of increase expected in the field. It's always good to have an industry that's expanding, right? How many new workers are needed in the occupation? What is the stated salary for that position? Gives you a chance to kind of think about some of these key factors, as well as what education is needed for the position. So we're thinking career first, and then coming back and saying, what training do I need? Where offers this training? See how it all comes back to universities. What employers will find employers that need this position, and what courses would help prepare for this career. Okay. And now you have something that you can be continuing on with your research. And then if you want some extension, there is another Education Quest reality check online game, just for fun. The key message is spend time using the careers section in Morrisby. Okay, we're just trying to drive you to use Morrisby in a fun way as well. So you've also got Claim Your Future game, online game there as well. And you can see the YouTube link that explains how to play the game there as well. These were additional extensions. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Well done for being here and engaging. And do feel that you can ask us questions. If you struggle with the use of Morrisby, please let us know, and we'll do what we can, like we just did there, okay? To help you use that tool and access it as much as you can. So it's a really good starting point. And please don't forget, think about your activities. Think about moving forward with a resume or a CV, okay? Think about that activities record. How can you be updating that as you go along? And remember, reflection is essential, not just doing the activities, but think about what are you gaining out of it. So therefore, what do you bring to the university community as a result? Okay, make sense, guys? Okay, have a great evening, everyone. Okay, thank you.